Hi, thanks for joining me. This was a surprisingly epic fail um, on my last video. My North American PlayStation 2 collection. This is a follow-up video, so this is part 2. And I swear I have almost as many other games to show you. I think I'm just going to be thankful that my video game collection is big enough that I can just forget a huge portion of it. But essentially there was one small portion of a shelf that I had some other games on that I forgot about, and then I forgot that I keep all of my arcade collections and fighting games and stuff like that in the other room, just to kind of separate out the games that I want to play on my Dreamcade and my Macross arcade cabs. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go over the rest of those. Actually, I will do for a moment. Houdini is joining us. I don't know if you guys can see him in there. He's just hanging out. Yeah, I'm cleaning his enclosure right now, so he's just chilling. And whoops, I'm waiting for stuff to dry in there mostly. So put that back on there and just let him relax. All right, so we're gonna start off here with Dynasty Tactics. Just get him out of the way a little bit more. There. Dynasty Tactics 2. So this is a game I haven't really played. I picked it up pretty recently. I'd kind of like to get Dynasty Tactics 1. You guys can imagine that I got this just because I sort of like tactical RPGs, and I just thought it was really cool that they did one based on the Dynasty Warriors series. So I want to check that out. Next up, another one I got fairly recently, Winback, Covert Operations. It's a Koei published game. I don't know much about this. I think it's one of those games I just sort of looked at it and I was like, oh, this looks pretty cool. I have been getting into getting light gun games a little bit more. I don't think that this is a light gun game though, but it just sort of reminds me of some of that style of sort of action shooter games that I've been playing, and I just thought it looked cool, so I grabbed that. Another one I talked about not that long ago, Gun Griffin Blaze. I just found this at a retro game shop, and Working Designs release here. This is one of their less popular releases, I would say. I did play some of this, and it's pretty cool. It's a mech game. You sort of zoom around in your mech and shoot stuff, but it was cool. I enjoyed it. Maybe not the probably it's kind of a genre that's full of a lot of games, a lot of similar kind of games. So I don't know if it really stands out among the crowd, but a pretty cool mech game nonetheless. Something I got at a Goodwill not all that long ago, Rampage Total Destruction. Again, with my setting up my arcade cabs, I was really happy to have, I believe this does have the arcade version of the game on here, and it also has a 3D update. So really cool, something I'm definitely looking forward to playing, kind of classic and updated Midway game here on my arcade cabs. I also have Mad Maestro. Apparently the disc is scratched, so I'll have to take care of that. But this is one of the Fresh Games imprint here. I know Crack Lotus was collecting these. It really kind of made me want to actually get a couple of the other ones. The other one I knew about, well, there's the Mosquito, Mr. Mosquito, and the R-Types game, I think it was, that was on the PlayStation 2, which I didn't like that R-Type game all that much. But I almost thought there was one other, Legend of Legaia or something like that, that seemed pretty cool. So anyway, I might get more of those, I don't know. Again, I just sort of found that one at a thrift store or something. Shinobi. Definitely wanted to check this out. I played some of it. It seems pretty cool. I think it has kind of a bit of a learning curve. Might be a little challenging, but it's a cool, I guess what you'd call a character action game these days. Pretty iffy. Gallop Racer 2003, A New Breed. Again, I've talked about some of these not so long ago. This is kind of just something I got because the Gallop Racer series seems to be sort of I don't know, coveted, and I find it weird that like they've actually released quite a few of them in the in North America over the years. So when I saw this one, I was just like, oh, maybe I'll grab that. You know, I'll have a PS2 one, and I could check out, see what the the older versions of that game is like. Metropolis Mania, published here by Natsume. I believe I definitely have talked about this before, but I think Corn Muffin was talking about this recently, Corn Muffin X. I forget what this is called in Japanese. Maybe I'll look it up and put an annotation. But it's sort of like a, SimCity-ish kind of a thing. But it seems pretty cool. Firefighter FD18. Again, this is something I picked up a little more recently, kind of on a whim, developed by Konami, and when I just started thinking about it, I was like, man, like a firefighting game, that sounds pretty cool. Oh, actually, I don't know, did I say developed? I just meant published by Konami. I don't know who developed this, but it does seem like a Japanese developed game. Could be wrong about that, but I just figured I'd give it a shot. Haven't played it yet. Same with this one here, Asterix and Obelix Kick Buttocks. I love the title, and I grabbed this just because this is a series that I think is I think pretty popular in Europe, and it's been going on like for a long time, since the 8-bit systems and stuff like that. So I just figured, it was just sort of like a random quirky thing that I ran into, so I figured I'd grab it. Another Natsume game, River King: A Wonderful Journey. It seems like Natsume really has this niche of the, what is it, the Harvest Moon, and all of these sort of kind of like daily life simulation sort of games, like a lot of fishing and things like that. So this seems like, again, obviously it's sort of a fishing based game, but I think it's sort of an RPG-ish like adventure game. Play as one of 4 family members, assist villagers and other shoreline folk, win it all in fishing and cooking contest. I like that. Oh, there's tricky trivia contests. Sweet. Anyway, again, I just sort of picked this up because I saw it when I was out one time. Thought it looked like a cute game. To go along with Shinobi, I picked up Nightshade. I always thought that this looked really cool. I think this is just called like Kunoichi, maybe in Japanese, but yeah, I remember when this came out actually, and then the Shinobi game was out, and I was thinking of picking them both up back then, but I just never did. So glad to kind of have both of those after the fact. Now this one, Astro Boy. This is pretty cool. It's published by Sega here, but I could be wrong, but I think this is, also one of those ones that's developed by Sonic Team. Maybe I'll look that up and just, confirm. Oh, actually, no, I don't have to look it up. It says it right there, Sonic Team. So, yeah, I'm pretty interested in, these Astro Boy games developed by Sonic Team, because, they're good developers, and, I'm not, like, a huge Astro Boy fan, or what is it, Tetsuwan Atom. But I don't dislike it. I've just never really watched those old black and white episodes. So yeah, it seems like a cool game. I definitely like to sit down and really dig into that sometime. Oh yeah, I forgot about this game, Virtua Quest. Again, just another Sega published game. Kind of in the Virtua series, I guess. I'm not even really sure. I guess it does include some characters from like Virtua Fighter, but it's like a RPG. I don't know, maybe like a fighting RPG or something, so it seems pretty cool. I definitely wanted to grab that when I ran into it. And the same with this one, a Daisen Ryaku 7. Modern Military Tactics. This is just a strategy game. Again, this is like a long-standing strategy series, and by System Soft here. And again, I was just kind of thought it was cool that these have been released here over the years, and I figured, hey, I might as well grab this when I saw it. System Soft, I believe, also did the what is it, Moi Moi. It's like a Daisen Ryaku basically, but it's not. It's done like Daisokusen or something like that. I'll put up like a picture or an annotation of it. A game I got on the PlayStation 3. I still haven't played that one either. I would really like to, because it seems super cool. Okay. Next up, we have just a couple actually shmups. Most of my shmups are imports. But on the PS2 here in North America, we have Shikigami no Shiro 1, otherwise known as Mobile Light Force 2. A little bit of a stripped down version of Shikigami no Shiro, but it's cool. I've played this before. It's a pretty fun game. I don't know if I've quite beaten this. I've gotten really far in it. I may have beaten it, but I think I seem to remember that I didn't get as far in that as I would like. And we have one of my favorite shmup series here, Raiden 3, the legendary shooter returns. Now I think this was the first one developed by Moss, and yeah, you know, it's good. It's great actually. I think it's really. I think a lot of people had issues with this because, you know, the new developer and stuff like that. But I mean, I've played it and I think it's really good. You know, you've got kind of like the classic. I mean, maybe it is a little bit of an updated Raiden experience. So you know, for what that's worth, I really like it. Though the graphics are great. It's just a really cool shoot 'em up. So really happy to have that. I actually the reason that's not in plastic is because I would have it. I think the disc is in my PS2 that's hooked up to my my Tate cabinet. So if that tells you anything. Virtua Fighter 4. Again, apparently with a lightly scratched disc here. But yeah, you know, the Virtua Fighter series is pretty cool. I actually really wasn't much of a fan of the first one. But as the series went on, I think it got better and better. And I definitely played these games with my friends. You know, definitely some of my friends were really into versus fighters, like even more than me. And yeah, so I wanted to add this to my collection, you know, when I found it. Yeah, and I've got Virtua Fighter 5 also on the new systems. They're cool games. And I think like you've got, I think Pi maybe is in the Dead or Alive series now too, kind of crossed over, which I think is really cool. Another 3D versus fighter here, Soul Calibur 2. I picked this up not that long ago either. Definitely a game that I, you know, loved back in the day, but I played my friend's copy, so I never really had my own. And yeah, really glad to have this back. You know, again, you got some crossover characters here with a character from Tekken, and I love the Soul Calibur series. Really fun versus fighters. I've always really enjoyed those a lot. Yeah, so this is, I guess I'm going into, like, these are all of my fighting, like, my versus fighters. So, a lot of collections here. We've got the Street Fighter Alpha Anthology. Great anthology. I was never super into the Street Fighter Alpha series, but I think, Kid Shoryuken just did his, like, top, I don't know if it was top 2D fighters of all time. I think it might have just been his top, like, Capcom fighters. And I'm pretty sure Street Fighter Alpha 3 was his, like, top kind of cream of the crop. So, you know, like I said, I never, like, once they got to Alpha, I actually just really wasn't playing these. But, you know, they're really well regarded. And I'm definitely, like, I've sat down and played this on my arcade cabinet. It's really cool. This also includes Super Gem Fighter Minimix. Which sounds super cool. I mean, it was it's Pocket Fighter basically. So you've got a version of Pocket Fighter on here, which is great. I almost think I like went out of my way to get a version of Pocket Fighter like on the PS1 again, which I guess I didn't need to do because it's on here. So, man, gotta love these compilations. They're awesome. World Heroes Anthology. Some SNK collections. Well, actually, I guess I'm going to more Capcom, but I have a lot of SNK collections here. World Heroes Anthology, you know, I didn't really play the World Heroes games very much, but, you know, they're cool SNK fighters. You know, if you're ever envious of the Neo Geo, or, you know, just happen to have an arcade cab in your local arcade, you know, World Heroes is another good fighting series from them. Capcom Fighting Evolution. Somehow I really am taken with this game in particular. I haven't played a ton of it, but I really like it because it's a mashup of different characters from different fighting games. So you've got like Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, which I think is really cool, just having like kind of the 3 characters with the 2 characters and everything. But you've also got Darkstalkers and Red Earth, so it's just a really neat like crossover compilation, and I think it's actually the only, well, maybe not the only, but like the first appearance of Ingrid, I think. I think so. One of the characters in here. This is where she was introduced. So, so I think that that's cool because I've always sort of actually wondered where that character came from. You know, again, as I've always said, I really like the characters in like Capcom's fighters. I think sort of I mean, even beyond like just the fighting games themselves. So anyway, that's a pretty cool one in my opinion. Fatal Fury, Battle Archives Volume 1. We have Fatal Fury Battle Archives Volume 2. Again, really good SNK versus fighters. And another really cool like mashup. You know, I don't know what it is with the fighting games. It's kind of fun to have like big rosters of characters mashed up, like the Marvel vs. Capcom games. Even though I'm not super huge into them, I do like them. SNK versus Capcom I really like. So this one has like it's not. I mean, King of Fighters was always like their mashup series. So, but I mean, it's more than just King of Fighters. You're also crossing in like Samurai Showdown, like Metal Slug characters and stuff like that. So, so I just think that that's neat. This is a cool game. I haven't played it a whole ton, but I think that this has actually just recently become available on PSN. So if you guys want to check it out, that should be available to you digitally. Art of Fighting Anthology. Again, I guess all of the Art of Fighting. I'm not really sure, but 3 of the Art of Fighting games anyway. Arcana Heart. Now, this is a game, I think I maybe mentioned that like I rented it. I was actually really excited when it came out, and I rented it from GameFly as soon as when it was first released. And I kind of just couldn't really get into it at the time, which is a bummer because it's a really cool fighting game. I've obviously acquired it since then. I've gotten into it a little bit more. And it's cool. I haven't maybe played it as much as I want to, but I just, I love I think the characters. It's like got the, sort of like pretty girl characters are sort of like a roster of kind of strictly girl characters. But like the gameplay is really unique. You can do a lot of like these crazy aerial combos, which is cool. Each character also has sort of like I'm not like a big JoJo's fan or anything, but it kind of reminded me of the stands from that. I guess it's sort of like I don't know. They all have this like guardian spirit or something that's like part of their fighting and stuff. So really cool game, published here by Atlas. And you guys probably know that there is a newer game, Arcana Heart 3, Love Max, I think, that was just released. I mean, that wasn't just released, but a little while ago on the PS3. So one that I think is, maybe a little harder to find, so you guys might want to grab that if you're interested in the Arcana Heart series. Oops. And one of my more favorite, I guess, again, roster of characters, maybe more than the fighting games, but Samurai Showdown, for some reason, I've always been like really enamored with this series. I have played it before. I had it on the Genesis, and yeah, I've played it in the arcade a little bit. This is great because it's it's like all of the games, maybe a ton of the games. And I mean, I guess there obviously have been some since then, but you got Samurai Showdown 1, 2, 3. I mean, I think it's just 4, 5, and okay, there is one that's not numbered. Shadow, no, Samurai. Oh no, it's just numbered. 3. Something seems weird. So it almost looks like there's 2. Oh no, I see. Yeah, no, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. My eyesight's not that good apparently either. So now we're moving on to like puzzle games and just arcade compilations. So on its own here, Super Bust-A-Move. I know I've showed this off before because it has a ridiculous cover and somebody called it out on it. But Taito, great arcade developer, and just lots of really awesome games from them. Actually, as soon as I said developer, I'm sort of like, are they a developer? Anyway, I think they are. Yeah, so Super Bust-A-Move. Midway. These are awesome. The Midway Arcade Treasures. There is a Midway collection for the PS3 also and the 360, which I highly recommend. But these ones are great too. And they have, I think, a number of games that aren't on the newer collections. So you've got this 8 games apparently on there. They upped it to 20 on here, which is kind of a much better value. But great games on both of these. And there is and I'm doing these in the reverse order. That's why. So 3, 2, and then 1 here. I meant to do it the other way around. This one has 20 also. So I guess you sort of went from like, some of their older stuff, and then this one it's like some of their newer like more 3D stuff, or their bigger things like Off-Road and Super Off-Road and like Hydro Thunder and some of that stuff. Stun Runner, that's cool. It's a cool game. And the Rush games like San Francisco Rush. This is Rush 2040 on here, so that's pretty cool. That's on the Dreamcast as well. Yeah, so this is actually pretty awesome. The Sega Classics Collection. It's a little weird because these are like 3D remakes, but I believe that these are all games that appeared in like the Sega Aces series. Sega Ages, I think it is. And they did a compilation for the US, or North America, which is cool. So, some of these, like, in their 3D iterations are, like, good, and some of them are considered not good. So, there's that. But a lot of cool games here. Fantasy Zone, Golden Axe, Columns. The Golden Axe is, I think, pretty sketchy. But the Outrun, I think, is supposed to be decent. Space Harrier, you got Virtua Racing, Monaco GP, Tantar, I don't know what that is. Alien Syndrome, pretty cool. And back to Taito. These are great. I've talked about these before, the Taito Legends collections, Taito Legends 1 and Taito Legends 2. Now, these both have awesome games on them. 2, I think, is going to have a slightly more modern stuff, and this is going to have a little bit more older stuff, but they're both awesome. I mean, these just have great stuff on them. This is like, I don't know, what do you have on here? Like Raston. So cool to have that. Operation Wolf, Bubble Bobble, Space Invaders, of course, New Zealand Story, just super cool stuff on there. This one, like I said, is even better. You've got, I think, a couple of Darius games on here, if not, a couple, then at least one. Camel Tree, which I've talked about before, which is really great, and so much like Dungeon Magic. It's such an awesome game. Nastar was actually Raston too. I didn't realize that. These are excellent. If you have a PS2 and you like arcade games, those are definitely worth having. Mega Man collections. So we've got Mega Man Anniversary collection here. They do have a version of this, like even physical on the PS4, which I think is pretty crazy. I don't know if it has the exact same games on it, but this is awesome. I use it on my arcade cab, which I think is really cool. And the Mega Man X collection. Now, Mega Man's, I really was restricted to like playing the first, maybe the second one, and the third one I think I had, or something like that. And we had as a family when I was a kid. So I haven't actually been terribly into the Mega Man games, so it's cool to just have them all available to me. This is a really cool compilation, and I've talked about it before, SNK Arcade Classics 1. The standout for this for me is easily Shock Troopers. I absolutely love that game. It's so great. It's worth having this just for that game as far as I'm concerned. And there's a bunch of other cool stuff on here. Like I said, nothing else like sticks out as much for me. You have a version of Samurai Showdown on here, which, if you've got the collection, it's not that compelling. There's a Fatal Fury, there's a Metal Slug. Again, if you have those collections, no big deal. You do have some cool stuff like Top Hunter, Sengoku. There's like Baseball Stars. I think there's a puzzle game on here. Could be wrong. Actually, maybe there isn't. Magician Lord, though, Last Resort. That's a shmup. So there's some cool stuff on here. It's a cool collection. Like I said, Shock Troopers is well worth the price of admission for that at just about any price. But speaking of ways that you can get more complete versions of some of the games that appear on there, Metal Slug Anthology, not a more complete version but a more complete collection. This is like Metal Slug 1 through 6. Totally great. These are excellent games. You can get this on the Wii also, which I think is it's a little bit collectible at this point. This PS2 version I just got like a couple of years ago, and it's not like a $5 game, but it's not terribly expensive. that's pretty affordable. It's, man, well worth it for what you get. And Capcom Classics Collection. This is also it's a series. There's volumes 1 and 2. These are both also excellent collections. You've just got tons of Capcom arcade games. You know, the Ghosts and Goblins, Commando, you know, Final Fight. I mean, gosh, this is just, and I guess Ghouls and Ghosts and Goblins. So much cool stuff on here. 1942, and you've got like Street Fighter 2, which is cool. Gosh, I don't know if you have Street Fighter 1 on here. That's annoying, because I don't know if it's on the second one either, now that I think of it. Oh no, it is Street Fighter. Okay, cool. So it looks like it might actually be on the second one. So the second one is also great. In fact, there might be even more cool stuff on it. You've got 1941. Let's see here, Black Tiger. I remember playing. Knights of the Round is really good on here. I was actually showing that off on my Dreamcade when I built that. Just great, great stuff on here still. You've got, again, more Street Fighter versions, original Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Strider on here, really cool. So, anyway, that is my long addendum to my first video. Sorry, I guess, for forgetting half of my PS2 collection. If you guys want to see my Japanese PS2 collection, let me know. I might just do that for Oricon's sake, but yeah, that's the rest of my collection. Again, as usual, I guess if you guys have any recommendations based on that, let me know. You can tell that a lot of those games were, arcade, like stuff to play on my arcade, and like versus, 2D and 3D fighters and stuff like that. But, yeah, I'm bugging Houdini here. Here he is. Hey, bud, what's going on? You want to say hi to the camera? I don't know if they can see you well. What's up? You're alright. You're getting a nice clean thing, clean enclosure. Yeah. How you doing? I love this little guy so much. I know my feeding video did not get well, I mean, it got thumbs up and thumbs down, but it got the most thumbs down of any of my videos previously. But I'm not going to take that personally. Neither is Houdini. I understand that not everyone loves snakes the way that I do, and seeing them feed is probably one of the more unpleasant things for people that don't enjoy snakes, and probably one of the more fun things for people that do. But anyway, he's looking at me. How you doing, bud? You being a good boy? Yeah. Here, I don't really want to disturb him too much, because I kind of like that he's chilling out, because he needs to stay in here for a little while I sort out his enclosure. But I'll lift him up and just let you guys take a look at him as he wanders all over the place. You doing, bud? Doing, boy? Yeah. He's still getting super big. He's over 2 feet now, but easily. I'm thinking about moving him up to. I guess you can't see him too well. Moving him up to eating like full-size mice, maybe pretty soon. I'm feeding him 2 hoppers right now. I guess you guys saw in my last video. So he's doing good. I was a little nervous because it seemed like he might be having a little trouble. Like, I went away for a couple days, and I just fed him that video that I posted, and then it seemed like he hadn't really pooped in like the couple days, and then he didn't. It seemed like he was upset when I got back. He struck at me a little bit, and like, which is the opposite. Normally he likes it when I'm gone because it's quiet. And it seemed like his mat was like not the right temperature, so I had to do like a lot of worrying about him a little bit, but he was just fine. He pooped okay, and he ate good the next time, and he's doing great. So, aren't you, bud? Yep. So anyway, thanks for watching. Houdini's gonna bolt here. Put him back in his thing. And anyway, I hope that you guys will join me again for more anime and video game related videos. Take care.